Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome, RPG Grandma. It's been a while.
Hi, everybody.
She and I were talking about this a while ago, uh, doing some crafting and painting together. Because, like everybody else I have on the show, they don't craft or paint. They just run their mouths, you know.
I
Real
build
quick, Grandma.
stuff sometimes.
Yeah. There, you got the crystals and the other stuff I sent you, right? Okay, we're gonna
Crystals.
do that like next time. But there's something I need you to try to find, because I can't find it. Otherwise, I would have sent them to you. You ever seen these at your Dollar Tree or anything like that?
Yeah, wood block things.
Yeah, because they're
Okay.
perfect for like a little mini craft. You and I want to do with you. If you can find just this, you can
Okay.
find this. I'll send you something that will revolutionize your gaming forever. Yeah.
All right.
If
Yeah,
you
it's
find
all
them, just
about being the first, right?
yeah, just
Revolutionizing
if you
things.
find them, let me know. But they got to be those big chunky ones. Little ones won't work.
Okay, I'll look for big chunky ones.
Yeah, even if they're bigger, that's better than smaller because well, you'll see. It's a surprise, um, because it just it. I saw these things separately and they instantly came together in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do that, because what do we got here?
I was thinking.
Oh no way! I love it. That is so cool.
I
You
was
know,
thinking a rock monster.
that is freaking cool as hell. I would have never thought of that. I what I was going with was something totally different, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. But
No,
uh,
yeah, we got all these nice. These are cool. I mean, these are seriously cool.
and a
These
Hobby
are cool.
Lobby used to have like a bunch of different colors. They had red. They had they've got clear still. They've got some pink and blue, which I don't want to do the genre bisexual lighting thing. And let's see, they used to have these,
Oh yeah,
and so these ones are actually pinkish, but they had some orange ones. They've got the blue ones like this. I don't know if I
yeah.
sent you these ones.
You can do so much with these, and if you have like your effects of the crystals color coded,
Hmm.
and eventually the players will figure out what the different colors do. You know,
Kind of like I was thinking a little bit Land of the Lost, a little bit Atlantis. There's a
yeah.
bunch of different things you could do with them. I've got a couple ideas. I've used them before, but all of a sudden, Hobby Lobby only has like the green ones. The two that I sent you were the only ones they had besides the clear ones. And I got an idea for the clear ones, but I really wanted some of the other colors. So if you've got a Hobby Lobby, keep your eye out because every 2 weeks, everything in the bead aisles
Uh-huh.
is like 50% off.
Oh, I did not know that. I will attempt to get to Hobby Lobby more often then.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is like either get their app or their newsletter, and then they'll
Okay.
send you. But it's like clockwork, just like the picture frames and the model kits. Every 2 weeks, but they're alternating. They're like not on the same week. And sometimes the paintbrushes, but they have these like aisle wide sales. Everything is 50% off.
And I
Um,
know one of the other guys, on one of the other channels, he found some cool stuff at like Dollar Tree, a dollar store. He found these little garden gnomes. I just haven't been able to find the same things. And what I probably should do is order them. That's probably what
mhm.
I need to do.
Yeah,
My
if
home
they
someplace.
if they carry it,
They're
they've
like,
got it in the. You can order it online, and they'll either ship it to the store or you.
and they're like super tiny. And so he was building like these sci-fi. He does like a lot of sci-fi stuff. So he's got these little garden gnomes. He started putting these garden gnomes in there, and of course, players they come in all sci-fi. What's that? We need to pay attention to the garden gnome.
Yeah, they you know, unfortunately, with the 99-cent store out of business, that killed so many great because they had better stuff
Oh yeah.
than the Dollar Tree, but it was more random. Whereas Dollar Tree, they've got stuff that they always keep stocking. Those square blocks were one of the things, but not anymore. I don't know what happened. Maybe they're just not getting them. I've gone to two Dollar Trees and couldn't find them.
I'll see what I can find. I'll hit a couple craft stores. They might be a different kind of block, but I'll see
It
if
doesn't
they
matter
have
as long
big
as they're
blocks.
flat and they're wood and they've got a surface that you can write on. Just going to say that.
Okay.
But
I
there's a new store coming out in place of all the dollars, excuse me, 99-cent stores. It's called something else. What's up, Huey? And uh, I haven't been to it yet, but I saw it open up after 99-cent store went out of business, and so I'm going to check that out. It looks like it's a chain of stores, so we might get a replacement with a different, same store, different label kind of thing,
right. Are they
which
like
would be fine
merging
because
maybe?
the Dollar Tree, Dollar General, they're all the same place, and we've got a really nice Dollar Tree. I mean, it's big. It's like a grocery store kind of big. I mean, it's really really big.
Oh,
Uh,
that's nice. Most of mine are like little, in the strip
Hole in
mall.
the walls, and this one is
Yes.
like a lot of them are like really grungy.
Yes. Yeah,
But
you
this
gotta
one
hunt.
is like spotless. If I was going to work at one, it would be like only that one because I don't want to be mopping the floor every 8 minutes and smelling weed all day long. Um, what's up,
But
Dean?
you're in a different area. I think your area is still civilized.
It kind of is. You know what? Speaking of which, they just started taking the glass off the shampoo aisles and stuff like that in some of our area.
Like, because you're probably not having the problem, unlike my area.
We still
Yeah.
have some issues, but it's not as bad. And the one area that I'm talking about is definitely a nicer part of town, but it's at a Walmart. And I went in there, and there were like I could reach the aspirin or whatever it was I was looking for, you know, uh,
Well,
and
I
not
got
have
we
to have
got
some.
the phenol zombies all over the place here. You know, and so you spend your day trying not to run over people who are in the street or
Mhm.
zombieing through. And if they're not zombieing, then they're high on something else, and they
Yeah,
think they can fly, and they're jumping around the road while flapping their wings
it's
their
so
arms.
sad, especially those people that are bent over like this, from the
Oh yeah,
drug.
yeah. It's zombie. I mean, it looks like something out of a zombie film for
It's
real.
so sad. I can't. I've had some pretty rough times in my life.
But everything's cool. The governor says so.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
such a schmuck. I mean,
yeah. I
you
feel I
know,
feel bad for all these people because they're obviously hooked on something.
right? But then,
You know.
but then you got to think, these people that are like walking around like this, where their heads almost on the ground, but they're standing upright. You ever seen those people?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah, they
like,
OD. They OD, and then there'll be like a little, placard people will put up. You know.
who sells to these people when they look like that? What kind of monster? Someone walks, comes up to your door. They can't see the door, but they're ringing for their next fix. Who sells to people like that? You know what I mean?
I
What
don't
kind of
know. They're gonna,
monster?
I believe in the supernatural as far as supernal, whatever you want to call it, the divine universe,
Uh,
and they're going to be answering to somebody.
yeah.
Maybe they don't think they are. I mean, there's a lot of people who are atheists now, and they don't think there's anything after this, and so I guess you can be a total schmuck. You know,
Awesome, Huey. Huey's a new guy. He's new to the channel. He
I
discovered
feel
us
like
from our Conan stuff. I don't know if you're on Discord, but I would love to see your art because I'm looking for new artists to help me out with some projects I'm working on. Uh, so if you're interested, give me like a Discord handle or something. Find me on Discord or something, uh, or put in like an email address. Grandma, it's gonna change your
today's
life.
subject, boys and girls, is
It's
washes, and Shadow's going to teach me how to use washes more than just black and brown.
don't tell anybody, but I'm sending some to our favorite minister as well.
Oh, he'll
So
love
he's a wonderful chap, and he paints up a storm, and then I'm looking at his things and going, they're not done.
it. Yeah,
I'm
like
trying to be nice, but that book is handy. Everything in there is
okay, yeah.
handy.
So we're doing an unboxing right now. So what comes in this little kit? Okay.
I, you
Well,
know,
you
I
get
was real tempted to take everything out and just fit it in a flat rate box. But I'm like, nope, nope, just stick it in there. I
Get a
almost
nice painting guide. So
it will teach you some tricks if you. I mean, I'm
check 'em
assuming you actually are a really, really, really great painter, but you just don't have any washes.
And then it looks like they gave us these are
Stickers,
stickers, yeah.
nice,
And they
nice.
got colors on them. And we also got all new paint range. So you know you got to get your advert right. But
Uh-huh.
and it gives you the scale.
I've got most of those, and I want more. I love
Well,
Army Painter. I know they're not the top of the line, but Jackie and I back in the day, we went through all of the washes. Okay, we bought everything and we tested them.
somebody who uses yeah, yeah.
This bottle, Grandma,
Does
this
it get
bottle,
the
this
job done?
this bottle is 30 years old, and I still use it all the dang time.
Yeah,
Why? Because it's neon orange that is separated.
yeah. Sometimes you have to go weird places to find the weird colors, and sometimes you're doing something that like something like this, good for background stuff.
Like what you did with the dungeon. I did the
Yeah,
same exact thing where you did black and then you did blue and then you go over it with like gray or whatever. It really turned out great.
yeah.
And then I saw you doing it and I'm like, yes.
It
And I
looks better in person than what my
oh
pictures
I
could
know.
show.
I've got the same exact colors. I did the same exact thing with my dungeons and lasers. I was doing a some dungeon floors and walls that I wanted to look cold.
Right. I wanted, well, the description of the tower that, I've got that one floor basically done, um, that I'm working on is it's supposed to be made out of these big black, um, uh, black rock. So it's not going to have gray walls unless it's part of an inlay or
Hmm.
something. And it's not going to, and so that's why like I have sections of it where it looks like, where you can see the black underneath, and they had like plaster on it or something.
Hmm.
Because I'm trying to show it's an old tower, people did live in it and do
Hmm.
stuff. And I'm also okay with some things being bright simply to make it pop, because after a while everything looks grungy, and you get kind of tired of just grungy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I went with the blue undertones, and it's different. Like especially in like the funhouse dungeons, especially like Arduin. Every room is made out of a different material.
Right, have
You
fun with
know,
it, man.
I don't know why. I don't know how they did that, but it's cool. And all those different like this room's made out of, let's say, sandstone and has purple floors and green roofs. The
Well,
players
wizard
are going to
stuff.
go why, and they're going to try and figure that out. You know what I mean? Because they're going to think it's some sort of magical trap or there's something weird about it. It causes maybe it's anti magic. So when we see rooms with green floors and purple floors, we know, can't use fireball in there, or they'll just pick it apart, and their imaginations will carry them away to places you had no, you know you're just dressing up the rooms, but
Right.
they suddenly get these weird ideas, and you just sit there and just try not to laugh your ass off.
Yeah, I always went an Egyptian theme because of one thing in one of the rooms, and I said, you know what, I'm going to make it Egyptian looking. I'm tired of medieval. Yeah, and so that's why it has like it's going to have, regardless, it's always going to have this kind of Egyptian-y look to it as I'm building it, because I was just tired of medieval when I started
Mhm.
working on it.
When I got those Dungeons and Lasers, I still have stuff from the very first Kickstarter that's still not painted. I bought so much of the crap,
I
and
got so much
it's
stuff around.
I'm still not done. It's still in the boxes because I just got tired of painting the same spray, primer it black, dry brush it gray, wash it black, dry brush it a lighter gray. I just got, oh my God, this is actual work. I didn't sign up for that. Uh,
And sometimes you want a room that looks different.
mhm.
You want materials that look different. Like when you go around town here, do all our buildings look exactly the same?
No, nope.
No. So
And it's also helpful because like in the old days, when we were mapping a dungeon, we would just draw squares and rooms and doors and stuff. But if you think about it, people would write the floor is blue, the walls are green, the
Right.
ceiling is red, and that would help you not get lost
Right.
better than the map itself. If
Not
you
the
think
red room. Remember what happened last time we were in there?
exactly, red room, and that's how we like get around. Like I don't drive, but I never get lost in the car. My wife drives for me, and I like she's like bringing up whatever GPS thing she's got on her phone, and I'm like,
Right.
you just go straight. And she's like, what do you mean? Just go straight. I know how to get there. But she's still. I'm like, you just follow the landmarks. I don't even know half the street names out here, and I've been here 15 years.
Right. Well,
Because it's
landmark
like,
driving and landmark navigating is important.
yes,
So let's tell everybody about these cool washes you sent me. They have a ball in them. I can hear it. So
it's
that's
probably
cool.
actually two, but and when those bottles ever empty, which they will, especially soft tone is going to be your new best friend when it comes to painting. But we'll get to that when they run out. Do you have LA's Awesome in your cabinets or whatever?
I have some. I don't know if it's LA's Awesome, but I found maybe something like it because you said it was like a pink stuff.
No,
I found
no, it's yellow.
it's yellow. No,
Yeah,
I don't have LA's Awesome, but I'm sure I can
we're
find
getting
something
to
to
it.
clean these out.
Relax, Cal. Okay, so when those bottles empty, you take off the nipple part and take out the balls and put them separately because you'll want to save those. But save those bottles because you can start using them for your craft paint, the stuff that you use. Like if you mix up a new color, you can pour it in there. Or if you want to make your own washes, which I'll show you how to do that later for different colors. Or if you want to make your own speed paints, which I can also show you how to do later. Um, you'll want to save those bottles
Or
and the
been
ball
told we need to
bearings.
start painting something.
Yeah, that's Cal. What's up, Cal? So, what color you want to start with?
Well,
Okay,
let's
let me see
see.
what miniatures you brought out. Let's
Um,
start with that.
let's start with these guys. I think. Well, I also have some skeleton guys we could do stuff too.
Okay, let's start with skeleton. That's the most basic of all things.
This guy looks. Let me find one that looks pretty.
Yeah, they come in handy. I've got like 20 of them. Just 20 empties, just because.
Yeah, this guy looks like he'd be good for
Okay, okay. Take your soft tone.
my soft tone. Okay, that would be this one.
That's literally I use that. I've gone through about 7 bottles of that in 4 years. You got a palette or something?
I have palettes. I have.
Do you have any of the silicon ones? Those are the best.
No, I don't because I
You ever
actually
see
use
anything like
those at
this,
work for something else. So, uh,
Grandma?
and I've had several of them.
You ever see these poppers? These
Yeah,
finger fix?
yeah,
If
that's
you
what I'm talking about. I have them at work, but I
okay,
can't spare them for paint because about 4 of them have developed legs and gone missing. I'm now down to 3, and I got to actually buy like
you'll
bulk of
be if
them.
you go looking around like your dollar stores, you'll find you can find these little popper toys that are silicon and
These.
with washes with all my paint because I'm really cheap. I only drop out a couple of drops at a time so I don't waste anything.
Uh huh.
So
Where to put my
if you've used like black and you said black and brown washes, right?
Yeah, that's what I've done in the past.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
So
What do
so
you
what
think?
I do is I lay my miniature down flat,
Okay.
on like a plate or whatever, because the stuff is meant to drip sort of or flow into the cracks.
Plate
Okay.
prepared.
Okay. So like your skeleton, you're gonna dab it more or less with the wash, so that it it flows into the cracks and crevices.
All right. So we're gonna. I got more than one dude here, so we will. And get my paintbrushes. And you just dab it, huh?
Hmm. And let it just get into the nooks and crannies, and that's where it does its magic because it's it's designed to flow and sink, but some of it will still stay on the top upper layers and sort of stain the upper areas. And,
Okay.
and feel free to use it liberally, so that
Oh,
it just runs in there. It's you're not doing coats. You're just getting it so that it'll flow down where you want it. Like
okay.
gravity pull it into the in between the ribs. Because what'll happen is like you'll notice on the ribs will show, but then those little cracks will become dark.
Okay. Because I do have like layers of different bone color on these guys.
And you might have to go back and dry brush over it if it stains it too much. But when you start, what I do is you've got your popper, nice. Hey, what's up, Julia? Um, and it'll change the process of how you paint. Like from now on, what you'll do, you seeing it flow in there now?
Yeah, yeah, it's flowing. It's flowing into these guys. It's definitely better. I didn't want to use like a black or something on them at
No, no.
all.
And okay, the reason I use soft tone so much is like, say you're doing a pile of gold,
Uh huh.
I'll hit the gold with the soft tone and let it go into all those little cracks and crevices in between the coins,
Okay.
and then I'll dry brush back over it when it's dry with the original gold color, and it'll make that those coins, you'll be able to see them individually. From a distance, it won't look like a gold blob; it'll look like little gold circles, like it's supposed to.
Ah, I see. I get you. With the soft tone.
And I use soft tone for everything. I mean, I'll throw it on blues and greens and stuff if I want them to make them look grungy.
Yeah, I think I've
Uh,
been using mainly like that sepia brown color.
this is a very nice alternative to that. And when Jackie and I when he and I were first doing when I was teaching him how to paint, we went through all of the washes out there: Games Workshop, Army Painter, Vallejo, and Reaper. Army Painter was the best for a wash that you want to go in the cracks and stain the upper areas the least. Everything else stains more, which means you've got to dry brush back over it more. So my process is base coats, your blocks, your different colors, and then hit it with the wash. Like if you're doing red, I'll hit it with a red wash. And if it's
I was
too
going to ask you that on the like if you would use like the purple tone on a purple, or would you
Yes,
use that
yes.
on a
But you can
blue?
also mix and match. You can throw your blue on your green or your green on your blue, to get it to look like a different, you know, uh, different shadows will be different colors because like if you've ever seen like a Batman comic book where his cape is black, but then they there's blue in it, you know,
Right.
because it's dark, but it's it's night out. It's dark outside. But when the light hits that black cloak, sometimes they make it. Uh, sometimes they'll make it blue so that you can see like the folds and things like that. That's another great thing. This is great for is when you're doing a cloak. There's
You know,
nothing worse than
like this guy here.
yeah. So like when you're doing a cloak, like say it's a yellow cloak. Well, you can hit it with the soft tone and it'll go just down into those crevices and it look like it's shadowed because the folds are not what's deep down in the folds is not getting direct sunlight. And if you
Okay,
use the
yeah,
right
because I got
color,
some minis I tried doing stuff too a while back too,
uh,
and they just came out so dark, and I
yeah,
was like,
you never use black and yellow together unless you really want it to look greasy. You'll use a brown or you use an orange or a brownish color. And soft tone is one of the lighter. The light tone you might want to use with the yellows instead of the soft tone or the dark tone. But there's so many different things like if you've ever painted chainmail, and it just looks all silver now. Well,
right,
you hit it with a black wash. The wash will go in between the links, and now you'll be
right,
able to see the chain links and even from 3 feet, you'll be able to go, that looks like chainmail, versus
Yeah,
that
yeah,
looks like
yeah.
scale mail. You know,
So, so like I'm going to hit like the bone with the soft, but not necessarily the whole mini because
right?
some of these minis need a different wash on different sections.
Exactly.
Plus, I got to finish painting some of them in certain
Right, but
sections.
like if you're doing something like say you were doing uh, a shambling mound, right? You painted it different colors of greens, right? You know,
You know,
like
one of
maybe
these
you remember.
dudes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was thinking the other one with the carrot nose, but you know what I'm talking about. The old grenadiers. You painted it like its arms light green and its body dark green, and you've let's say you've done that, and you just hit the whole freaking thing with green. It'll turn all the greens a little more uniform, close together, and they'll start to fade. You know, into one another. They'll look more natural, but every little contour and line will suddenly have a little, ring or an outline of that wash, and it'll make it look a million times better. There's a reason. Thanks, Julie. I've been doing this for off and on for 40 years, and I've taught my son to become a better painter than myself. Believe it or not, mostly because I'm old and lazy, and he's just a natural. Um, but he comes from a long line of people with a little bit of artistic talent. Just going to say,
Yeah,
uh,
see, she's bringing me up to date on modern techniques versus what I have been
uh-huh,
doing.
that red is going to come to life. Now, the thing with that horse, I would lay it on its side and hit the wash, on one side, say the red, or whatever, and then and watch it because it's going to drip and flow into places you might not be happy about. So you got to keep, brushing it back or moving it back to where you want it. And then once it's, relatively dry, you can flip it over and do the other side. But sometimes when you're painting like something, and you've like given it like some, like a heavy splashing of the wash, you may want
Right.
to turn it upside down so that the wash actually comes back out into other places. Because sometimes it'll pool in places you don't want, and the only way to get it
Right.
back where you put it is to like use gravity to tip it back the direction it was, and it'll flow back into the original place you put it.
Well, this is a rescue. I got off of eBay, so
I've got
but
one of those. Someone
he came completely crushed. I had to bend him back into
You
form.
did a great job.
He's missing this side, but it's a skeleton guy. Of course he can miss something.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I'm not gonna I mean I actually have the part, but I'm not gonna try to solder that little part on there. It's not worth the effort. So um in my opinion, and I'll never get them done if I do that. But yeah, I rescue homeless minis from time to
I
time.
used to do that for a long, long time, but then I got everything that I was ever looking for and more, and they're just sitting in boxes. A lot of stuff that will never be painted because it's like, like I've got an original. Remember Stranger Things?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Grenadier Demogorgon miniature they had in there?
Uh,
The two-headed sort of flat Grenadier models, Demogorgon with the tentacles and the two hyena heads.
I think so. Yes,
Well,
that's.
I got one,
Woo,
and I got it before Stranger Things was a thing, and then
lucky.
I watched it go up to $200 because of the show,
Oh my gosh!
and I'm like,
Everybody
well, I'm
wanted
never
the cool
painting
monster.
that, and it's still, if you find one, it's expensive, but the original minifigs one, that's $500 from back in the '70s, and I had one and I got rid of it because I didn't really like minifigs, even though I'm friends with the owner, Tom Dye now. It's just like this is it's kind of a crap mini. I'm going to sell it. Uh,
Well, I'm working on. My goal is. I don't know if I'll get them done this year, but my goal is I got like a bunch in progress here, like the skeleton army that I discovered I had a skeleton army. Just I was going through boxes and I'm like, honey, did you buy more skeletons? Oh yeah, yeah, I got those on sale, like during COVID. And like you just open. I found a whole box of stuff I didn't even know we had, and I'm just like,
Wanna go
okay,
upside
I'm just
down?
gonna work on the skeletons first.
You know, I do too,
Uniformity.
Cal. I wouldn't go 43 years ago, but I've got some from like 20 years ago. All my Galactic 25s, and it's like I just it's like to me it looks like I just did the base coats and I called it a day. Like, oh, they're done. I didn't know about washes until 5 years ago. I didn't know about dry brushing. It's like, oh, the body is gold, the arms are yellow, the boots are black. I'm done. Which is funny because all the Heritage Paint and Play miniature sets actually told you how to make a wash, told you how to dry brush right there with the Galacta Minis or the Dungeon Dwellers, and I just never did it.
Well, that's what everybody did. That's why everybody's minis came out as blobs when we were kids.
Right?
They're just
And
color
Julia,
blobs.
I do not speak German. I do not read German, even though
What's
both
he
my
right?
parents did, which is weird. That's how they met in college. I was in a German class, but I don't know what you just said.
Where's the German?
It's at 18 0011 on the chat, right above Cal's bone weight, only at 15% of old body weight.
Body weight. I'm only seeing English.
It
Did it
it's
not? It says really good. So painting a figure with shading, etc., requires, I think, a lot of practice and experience. The fact that your son is better than you just shows what a good job you did.
Thank you. Literally it is in German on my end. Oh no, no, it's above that. It's above that one. It's above the body weight, the bone weight.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
The Chingu.
it's okay, Julia.
Also, where'd it go? It just jumped on me. Hold on. Use test stores models, poorly painted minis. Where'd it go?
It's right above bone weight, only at 15% of old body weight.
No, I found it.
Okay.
Gut. Oh, it keeps jumping on me.
And thanks, Julia.
Figures who rain or folder. Even
it's
my German is very basic too. And
it's Shadow and Sun.
She is talking about the figure.
Yeah, it's right above where you say at Shadow and Sun.
Switched
Really,
to English.
yeah, it literally is in German.
Thank
It's
you,
okay.
Sylvia. Yeah, my German 9 gut.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
it's
both
pretty
my
basic at this point in my life. I
yeah,
know
it
Guten
was really
Morgen still.
it was really weird. My both my parents, came from different states. They met in college, and they were the only two kids who had polio in college, and they're both in wheelchairs. So they were like destined to get married back in the
Oh,
'60s, But they met in a German class, so it was just like, it was like it's kind of weird when you think about it. Or at least when I do, it's like, man, that's some fate, isn't it? You know.
yeah, I only know some very basic German from like forever
I,
ago,
I took French and Spanish. They didn't. German wasn't an option.
and some Yiddish. Picked that up somewhere.
The skeleton is a shade of his former self. Cal, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's terrible. Okay,
So,
Grandma, check this brain out.
oh, I like the brain. Where'd you get the brain? Brain
It's a
monster.
Dungeon and Laser piece. But all you see all the lines of the brain. That's all just red wash.
That's the red wash on the lines of the brain.
Yeah, that's how I got. I
Came out.
didn't paint those lines.
That
I
came
just
out
let the
nice.
wash. I just splashed a crap ton of red wash on it and let them just sink in there by laying it flat and just let it do its magic.
I don't know if I got him out here in this batch. There is. He's floating
Yeah,
around somewhere. Oh, here he is. Yeah, this guy. He's from Raven, whatever Loft. He's the bad guy, I think. Anyway, I gotta do the detail work on his, and he's got all these tattoos on his head that I've been staring at, trying to figure out how am I going to to do the detail work on these tattoos.
Well, you don't. You just hit it with a wash.
So yeah, that's what it's going to have to be, because I don't see any other way. Like painting a little
Eh,
snake in his hand, that's not a problem.
Yeah, Julie, it's like a Grell. It's really this company Dungeons and Lasers. They made their own version. I mean, it's got way more tentacles, and it's just hideous.
Now I need to find me a brain and a bunch of octopi, and so I can make one of
I was
those.
just about to make a Wizard of Oz joke. Missed it by that much. It's my brain. Yeah, I stole it from Cal last Sunday.
So on a mummy, what would you think would be a good wash for?
Same thing. Soft tone.
You think?
Just you slap that on there. Just slather it with wash, and let it all go in the crevices. And when you're done, if it's too dark, you just hit it a real light dry brush. Will bring back the bandages, and keep
Because obviously this guy's in progress, because he's got a lot of gray spots on him still. For as far as the, what do you think? I
Yep.
think I used sepia on those on my Goliath mummies, which you can get right now because it's that time of year. So in fact, I gotta go hit Spirit for all the big toy monsters and stuff.
Thanks.
Because
Hey, squirrel.
now you can get your big zombies, your big mummies, right? And I got some, and I painted mummies one year, and I painted big skeleton dudes. And I painted the mummies up. And they all have weapons and stuff.
Yep.
And mounted them, and they're just regular plastic toys. And people are like, "What are you going to do with those?" I said, "Well, they're obviously giant mummies." And everyone went, "Oh my god!" I said, "Well, they're about in between, so I go with Goliaths." Maybe the ancient kings were all Goliaths.
If you remember in not just Conan but Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, they both ran into giant mummies or giant undead from the before times. They're just the Nephilim or the Goliaths or however you want to
right, exactly.
to explain it.
Yeah.
And
Now's the time to go get those guys, because your players, yeah, no problem. Yeah, take on a mummified, hill giant from the before times, before they were stupid.
Yep. The skeletons from those lines of larger army men figures. What we one of the things we did with them it's how I taught my son how to use milliput and green stuff. Is you can use them as what are called dollies, which is the armature of a. When you're making a miniature, you start with like a wire skeleton, and then you slowly add clay onto it. Well, you've got the skeleton, just add flesh to the skeleton until you get the monster you want. Or you could do like what I did. I take baby wipes, I let them dry out. They got to be the kind of baby wipes with no pattern.
Okay.
Let them dry out, and then cut them into really thin strips, like long, thin strips. Then get your water and your white glue mix, and you dip the little strips in the water and glue mixture, and carefully squeeze out as much of that liquid back into the bowl, and drape them over the skeleton, right?
Right.
Until you get like a hooded robed Grim Reaper or a ghost.
Oh, excellent.
And when they dry, let me show you an example. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. I don't know if you've ever seen this, Grandma. See this?
Oh yeah.
The king in yellow?
Yeah.
This is nothing but a wire armature, dried baby wipes, and glue and water, and a little bit of milliput to make the tentacles.
Excellent.
It literally cost to make this gigantic thing. It cost me, a couple of bucks in the clay. Everything else is, cheap wire. It's literally jewelry wire, and I just made a big giant armature. This is a barbecue skewer. This is a little bit of clay, a little bit of chain from some costume jewelry, and a whole bunch of baby wipes. The plinth that he's standing on, I got from Dollar Tree, so that was an actual dollar back in the day.
Right, right.
And I just draped the glue and water baby wipes over it and over it. It's many layers thick until it started looking like one of the characters from the old Black Sabbath, the Mob Rules album.
Yeah,
Remember
yep,
that?
yep, 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 yep.
And eventually it turned into the King in Yellow from Call of Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft stuff. But I've done that. I made a Sam Hain with one of the plastic skeletons, and I just draped a bunch of wet baby wipes with the glue because it'll dry and it'll stiffen up.
Yeah, oh yeah, it'll stiffen up good.
And I made some ghosts and some scarecrows and things like that.
Right, and then you got a monster, and let's say you only use it once, and you're not out a whole bunch of cash. But yeah, I've
Yeah,
got I
exactly,
could,
Squirrel. It wasn't even $10 because well, maybe if I count the milliput because that's like $10, but I didn't use like a whole package of it. And it's literally just made out of you know odds and ends. And hey, what's up, Ryan?
and well, yeah. So also a bunch of
Doing
friends
really well.
dropped off. They're the little action figure guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hold
Yeah,
on, hold on,
you know the kind. You know,
hold on, hold on. Do you remember this
the
Raw
boys.
Partha miniature? It's much bigger. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the Raw Partha miniature.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's my
You made
favorite
a
miniature of all times.
you made a
Well,
big one.
it's made out of one of those Final Faction action figures at the dollar store. And again, he's wearing a baby wipes hood and cloak. The sword is made out of a popsicle stick. The hilt is actually a little bit of clay or milliput, and the hood and everything else is just dry baby wipes and white glue
You
on
made a
top
big
of a
version of
99
them. That's nice.
on a 99-cent action figure. And even the base is just a Pringles lid with clay, like
Okay.
paper clay, like cheap clay inside a
Yeah, no, the
inside a
paper
Pringles
clay
lid.
stuff works good.
And I've literally got like 10 of this miniature because every time I ever saw it on eBay, I'm like, okay, that one's mine too, because this was my like my the miniature I used for my favorite D&D character, which was an assassin back in the day, and uh, it was a hard miniature to find, and then once you're on eBay, you just find stuff more than
Yeah,
you could
you'd
want.
be surprised what you can sometimes find. Like this dude here, I know it's because we got like a pack and like it was like random things where it's like, well, I want one of those random things,
Hmm.
right? So that's why I also have a where to go. I have a parking meter. Don't know how I'm going to use the parking meter in a D&D game, but I will.
Uh-huh. Well, you got to have one for your Gamma World character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But this dude here, man, had to have him.
Nice.
Fu Manchu. Yeah, yeah. Like Mr. Fu Manchu here, and I don't know. He's going to be like the apothecary or acupuncturist. I don't know.
He kind of has a look of like a ringmaster of a circus.
Yep, he could be that. You know,
Master of ceremonies with the top hat.
but like I said, it's fantasy. Use what moves you, man. It's different
Thanks, pal.
if you're doing a historically accurate setting, then sure, make it historically accurate. But we're talking fantasy with elves and
Yeah.
mutants and aliens and
Oh no, 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 Ryan. One of the old Gamma World modules had a character with who was wielding a parking meter as a mace.
that's right.
It's and the other character's got like a stop sign as a shield. It's just
Yeah, you can't unsee stop shines as shields once you've seen that picture. All you
yep.
do is point at street signs and go, that can work.
Yeah, Mind Flayer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
I,
that
I
time of
have got
year. Get to Spirit and buy
I
buy
literally,
toys.
I was like, I had a point in my life where I was really, really down, living, from hotel to hotel. And when I finally just barely got back on my feet, I went on eBay and I was like, I wonder if Heritage Miniatures are still a thing I could buy. And I went looking on eBay, and that opened up a like 15-year rabbit hole where I started out buying one Heritage Skeleton Archer, with the broccoli base, I think. And
Right.
I was like, oh, I can get them all. I just got to be patient. And
Yeah.
well,
Yes.
and I started buying them, and then I started, selling my extras, and then I started buying big piles of random miniatures and stripping them, and then reselling and primering the stuff that I didn't need it anymore. It was like, hey, I've got three of these. I don't need, three or whatever. And I would sell them, and then I would buy more and sell until I eventually.
This is one of my favorites because he's popping out of the ground.
Oh, I know that one.
Yep.
And you could do that with any broken miniature you find.
Yep.
Literally a broken miniature of anything, you can turn it into a zombie. Uh, right, and that's nice, Julia. That's nice. And that's one of the great things that Grandma and I have in common is crafting. Turning junk into magic or treasure or great terrain or whatever. If you just use your imagination a little, you don't have to
Second.
go out and buy that miniature of the guy coming out of the ground. You can just go through your loose bin of broken miniatures with the legs. Especially the old lead miniatures. Or make new monsters like Grandma's going to show us right here.
Okay, guys, this is a dollar store monster made from dollar store critters, and you guys can make this. So he's got the scorpion tail,
Move it
scorpion
over a little. Can't see the tail. Yeah, there you go.
scorpion tail, scorpion claws, tiger body. So I just bought like the bug packet, and I bought the little zoo
That's
zoo
really
tube that they had at the
that's really
dollar store,
freaking cool.
and
That,
then there is nothing fancy about this whatsoever. I used so I cut it up with an X-Acto knife, and I used a cheap glue gun
yep.
to help drill holes, and then but
By
you still
melting
have
the
to
plastic, right?
by melting the plastic, but you still had to get in there with an X-Acto knife to dig
Yeah.
out because and you gotta pump this,
Yeah.
and then and I did it to the other on the tail. You can do it to the tail as well.
Right.
And then I got I think I put on one end like a little piece of paper clip that
Right.
I clipped
It's a pin visor.
and glued it in there with glue gun.
Yep.
There's no so if you got a glue gun, you can make this.
Mhm.
and glue gunned the tail together to the butt. Then this I just put holes in his side, and because this is so flimsy, let me
Rubber and
right.
plastic. Yeah.
and it's so small, you're not going to be able to use wire. I just pushed these in after I dug out the hole. And again, glue gunned it together, and put glue in there and stick it in there. And he's literally glue gunned to a little piece of wood. And then I painted him. And everybody at the house wanted him to look like a tiger, and they didn't want no weird colors. So I said, okay. So
You did a great job on the paint job.
so
That really sells it. That really sells it.
so he's
A classic Cerebus cat scorpion.
yeah, exactly. Because I saw a cat scorpion.
Thanks, Cal.
I think it had a regular tail, but he's got to have a scorpion tail. On an old sci-fi magazine, when the short story magazines were a thing, cover art, and I always wanted one, so I said I'm making one. And the type of they are these things.
That's your Dr. Frankenstein Mengele box of bits.
Yeah, she's just one of these tigers, little toy tiger.
That looks so much different and better.
And I don't know, do I got another scorpion
folks?
body? Yeah, a little scorpion body.
Nice. That scorpion alone would terrify a party.
Right.
But you give it half cat parts, and a bigger brain and the
So,
speed
so
because
he's got a
scorpions are.
lot of attacks. He can bite, he can claw. Now he can sting you and poison you, and he can claw you like a good old fashioned tiger. So
And not only that though, but scorpions are like mostly blind, so they
yeah,
can't see for crap. They
yeah. But he
feel
can
the
see.
vibrations in the ground. Well, you just gave that scorpion the nose of a tiger, the eyes of a tiger, and the longevity of a warm-blooded creature that won't give up. The scorpion will give up real quick. You know.
Well, and for those who like really weird monsters, there is a game, Alien Zoology. You can get it PDF. They have the solo. The solo game is the original, but
Mhm.
that now they have one for multiple players. It's basically you you're running an animal safari trips on
Okay.
alien planets, and there's a Facebook group you guys can go join, and you make your own monsters. That's and then you play them, and it's actually got some cool. I was reading through the rules. Somebody told me about the site, so I've been hanging out looking at what people have been
You'll have to
making
send me a link so I can
toys
throw it in the Discord.
out of toys, and you guys would be amazed what people are making. And then if you go, and like I said, easy to get the game. It's not expensive. I think it was
I wonder if it's by the same
free.
guys who did the action figure game that they sent me and Giant Monster Rampage, which was like a
I don't know. It
Godzilla
uses
kaiju. What?
it's a D6 game I think off the top of my head, because I was looking at it, and it comes with everything for you to print out the cards, so the Safari people, your
Uh-huh.
player characters, your
Like
little
Mystic
group
Eye Games or
have
something like that,
cards,
maybe.
and then the monsters have cards, and then you do combat with the cards and the drawing. I haven't tried to play it yet. I was just reading through it. I got directed there because I was making monsters and posting them on Facebook.
You know
Uh,
the dollar store and places like that that have those little bags of 99 cent or
yeah.
$2. Sea creatures are some of the best. Just going
Oh
to tell you
yeah.
right up there.
I
You
went
know.
to Goodwill, and for
Mm.
$5 I got a bag like this of sea monsters.
Yeah. Our Dollar Tree, I mean our Salvation Army and Goodwill and thrift stores are nothing but clothes and shoes. That's it.
Now you got to hunt around. You got to find the good ones. But yeah,
We,
I
we
found.
we've got several, like three or four, and none of them have anything. They might have like glasses and bowls and broken electronics, but no toys, no
No toys.
books.
Oh, that's too bad.
I live out in the boonies. There's nothing here. We've got two WalMarts and a Target and a couple of Jack in the Boxes, one McDonald's. There's not a lot out here.
Yeah, but the flying elephants was what I made out of those toy uh, boxes. I'm going to make some kind of weird critter out of the giraffes, little toy giraffes. I'm figuring out what I'm going to do.
You probably don't remember, but one of the things we made, Jackie and I, we took a little bag of little dinosaurs, not the big ones, the little ones. They're about 2 inches tall. Perfect, perfect. Imagine them in spacesuits with laser guns.
Oh, beautiful! Yeah,
It's
these would be
so
great
easy.
for that.
All you need is a little bit of clay to make like the collars and the cuffs around their neck and around their hands,
Right,
and then their skin will transform into the spacesuit when
right,
you
easy,
paint it.
easy. Yeah,
And then
that's
you find some ray guns, some machine guns or whatever, or just toothpicks, and slowly build up a gun, put it in their hand, give it some backpacks, with little beads or whatever, make it look like they're carrying equipment and stuff. And for like $1 and some clay, I made like a squad of about 8 different dinosaurs. All it didn't matter, even though like the Stegosaurus, he was part of the team. Even though he's on all fours, he was carrying like the heavy equipment. You
Yeah,
know,
you can find these at the dollar store too sometimes.
that's as is. All you got to do is spray paint it with the right spray paint, or you might want to just hand paint it because some spray paint on plastics
Yeah,
don't
I
work.
mean, it's good enough. You can plop it down as is and be like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah. But if you give it a good paint job and a good wash, and you throw it on the table,
yeah, this was one of
yeah,
the
that
this was one of
something
the
about
critters
scorpions and
in the
oh my
sea
god,
creature,
that's almost perfect the way it is.
right? Like
Oh my god,
you could deck them up more if you wanted,
not a
but I
plague
mean,
giraffe.
yeah, not a plague giraffe. Well, I'm thinking about turning the giraffes into some kind of weird uh six legged
You know what I would do with it?
critter.
I would do the same thing I did with the dinosaurs, except I would give it a set of like arms so that it could be kind of like a centaur.
Uh-huh.
And I would just make it like a weird alien race. You know what I mean? In a
Well,
space.
I'm gonna be hacking these up, so I'm gonna have like extra, heads and stuff because I'm definitely gonna
Gotta
make
save
them.
all that stuff.
Yeah, right. And then you just recycle that into a different monster
Eventually,
or
you
creature.
know, you'll find a use for every little weird thing.
Exactly.
Every one of your Frankenstein's creations.
And like I keep telling people, you only need a rough scale. Because if you say that the scorpion tiger thing is a certain size, and that's what size it is. You know,
Yeah, you just tell them it's huge.
yeah, it's bigger than it looks.
Absolutely, Julia. Absolutely. A lot of games let these days will let you play all kinds of weird things. What's a plague giraffe? It's just something Cal made up, like on the spot. I'm guessing,
But we
but
could totally make that. I mean, I could take one of these and get the glue gun and start carving out and make little ribs in it and zombie giraffe coming to a neighborhood near you, spreading plague everywhere. Right? Yeah, but right now, it's a good time to get your get bugs and spiders and all that jazz. Now, yeah, I was when I opened up the box and found all these undead. I'm like, where'd the undead army come from? Oh, well, this is cool. Got to get them painted up. So,
so what are you painting now?
this looks like another skeleton dude.
Okay.
Like I've got like so many over here.
Well, don't be surprised if you like. There's some washes you might never use, like the medium tone or the light tone, and others you'll go through like crazy red, blue, green, especially green and soft tone, black, of course, for when you want to make things really dark and spooky and shadowy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, on this guy, I'll have to put black on his armor when I get to that point. But right
Right,
now, I'm doing his bones.
and the flesh washes are good. Uh, but
Oh,
you will. I guarantee you, with most times when you use the flesh wash, it'll look good, but you probably going to want to dry brush back over it. Uh, yeah, yeah. They sense it. They do most of their hunting and whatnot through vibrations in the sand.
so
Uh,
they got the strong. They got a strong skin tone, skin shade. Is that the one you're talking about?
pardon what?
Well, I'm just looking in these colors here because I do have these guys, and they need detail still, but um
Oh wow, I recognize those. What are those?
these
So
are,
the new Arduin minis,
yeah, these are Arduin minis. Yeah,
the Magoffs. Yeah,
yeah, the Magoths.
I don't have
I
those yet. I
think
will.
there's something similar in D&D too.
Yeah,
Not
they're,
as
they're-
cool though.
it's kind of like a much larger larva
Yeah.
from the demon worlds.
So I got the green the way I wanted. I wanted it to be this like two shade Mm.
Yeah, well, you're going to definitely want to put a flesh wash on the face, and something on the body so that those segments, pop the lines in between them.
Yeah, the segments need to pop.
And you'll want to lay it flat on one side than the other to do it, but just constantly monitor it so it doesn't like run into places you don't, because gravity will sort of funnel it where you want. Julia, I stopped using display cases because they get dusty, so I went with like not suitcases, but different boxes, storage containers for the minis, and I only display like the bigger things now because it's hard to find a home for them in a box with foam padding and stuff like that. Although I did come up with a solution that's actually pretty affordable compared to like buying those big toolboxes that cost like $50 each. Yeah, they're it's an Arduin monster from 1975 or something. It's a very old, creepy monster that Cal and company were going to bump into sometime around October, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on figuring out how I'm going to paint her. But she's got a rattlesnake, so I'm gonna have to. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
put a
God! I made one of those out of.
diamond rattlesnake.
Did you make that?
No, this was one I found in a box that we had.
Hold on.
We got
Wait
a
till you see
Medusa.
this.
I have a giant Medusa too.
I still have it, or did I pack it away? Jack. Oh, here it is.
I don't know when we bought the Medusa, but
Hold on. Check
we
this
got a
out.
Medusa. But
Check
she's
this out,
got a
Grandma.
rattlesnake tail, so she's going to have a diamondback rattlesnake
Grandma.
paint job. Oh, nice. Nice.
Jackie and I made this out of a plastic snake miniature and one of those giant skeleton archers.
Yeah, I was going to make one, and then I realized I had and I don't know where I put her,
Take care,
but I
Pewee. I'll
had a
see you tomorrow morning,
box
buddy.
of toy fantasy things, and in there was a Medusa like thing. I was going to make that, but then when I found I was going to use her and modify her a little bit, but then I found this.
But look how close they are. I mean,
know.
look how they're very similar, And again, the Pringles lid for the base. Uh, I think I got two. I forget what I used for the the gold armor on her chest. But it's the Gorgon Medusa from Clash of the Titans, because we were doing a Clash of the Titans. We did a month where we did everything from Clash of the Titans, and it was a Ray Harryhausen month. We just did all the things we could do from that. We did a Cyclops out of a giant Bigfoot miniature.
You seen my homemade Cyclops already?
Uh huh. Oh, I've got one of those clear acrylic tier display up there. But Julia, like Cal and I and Grandma, we've got like thousands of miniatures. Cal, I know, has more than 10,000. I lost count a long time ago.
Well, what I got to do is I have
And-
bookcases that have glass, and
Right.
and like I said, I got people are getting books for gifts here, or I'm just going to be selling some, so then I can get other cool stuff. I do not need to keep every book I have here. There's only certain ones I really want to keep.
Mhm.
So, and not all of them are subjects people are going to be interested in. I just
Thanks.
have like lots of books that I'm like, I'm never going to use this book. It needs to find another home versus the books I do use. So, my goal is start shifting books so then I can have space
for more miniatures. Literally, this was literally less than $1 for this. Mine just a couple years ago, but like 2 or 3 years ago, less than $1. 2 plastic army men kind of things, a giant snake or just a regular, snake, toy snake. And
you can do a lot with
instead of paying like $10 or $12 or $8 or whatever for a mini, you can buy a bag of army men. And there's all kinds of different army men now. There's medieval. Like I took a medieval knight, one of the really big ones. Like army men size.
Right.
We got in a bucket of miniatures, and we turned it into a golem, right? Because it was like, you know how in the monster manual it looks like he's wearing like Roman armor.
Right.
Well, what we did was we took some polyfill. You know what that is?
Yeah. Is it a clay?
No, it's actually the stuff in some pillows and stuffed
Oh,
animals. That white
okay.
fluffy stuff. It looks kind of like cotton candy.
Okay, I got you. All right, all right, right.
And we
The
took some of
stuffing.
that and we shaped it in like a cone, right?
Okay.
And spray painted it with some black spray paint, just lightly, just to help keep it in its shape, and attached it to the mouth of the knight. So he's like a golem breathing that poison gas on you, and it looks so good because it's if you tried to do that with a miniature out of plastic, it wouldn't look like airy. It would look like a big solid chunk coming out of his face.
Right, right.
And this is all wispy and cloudy like. The same stuff I used. I took a
Yeah,
tea
I think I'm
light.
gonna use something like that to make my so I got some zombies too. I found.
Yeah, yeah. For a breath weapon, it looks more like he's breathing it out as opposed to it's like like clear plastic or something. But I took the same stuff and I took a tea light, like the ones that flicker orange, and I covered the tea light with a big mound of it so it looked like smoke, right?
All
And then
right.
I lightly spray painted it with black, so it looked like something was burning, right? And I left it on the table. My wife comes in and she freaks out, thinking it was a real something was really on
On
fire on
fire.
the dinner table, and to the point that even when I showed her what it was and I turned it off, and then I turned it back on, she said, turn it off." It looked
That's
that
great.
real. And I've got a couple of.
Success.
I use them for there's a bonfire or like in war games that tank exploded. Let's put a marker there. Now there's just a big wad of smoke and fire and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure my zombies are in modern clothes, but I
Oh,
decided
absolutely,
it,
Julie.
it didn't matter. 3 feet away. If you're actually using them in the game, who cares?
Yep. And we asked Cal. That's he probably remembers better than anybody else. Tea lights were our like trademark crafting material.
Oh,
Uh,
tea lights you can do a lot with.
we did it all. We like tea lights so much that we took one tea light, right, and we made a almost 3 foot tall styrofoam volcano, okay, with a dock leading to the volcano like a volcanic island, with
Right.
with a stairway all the way around the volcano, just so we could put one tea light at the very top. Up there, there's a thing we did for one of the crafters challenges. Let me see if I can bring it down without causing an avalanche. Yeah, I can do it. Well, maybe not. It's kind of stuck now. I don't know if you folks can see this, but Jackie and I did this for the Crafters Guild Challenge,
Oh, that came out great.
and there's a hold on. It's falling. I'll never find it. There we go. Green tea light. I think it's green. Yeah. Put it back here. There's actually two of them, but you get the idea. The eyes light up green.
Nice.
And this took us a couple of weeks just out of just garbage styrofoam. The most expensive thing was the snow effects. You can't really tell, but there's snow everywhere. This was a lot of fun to build.
That looks like Woohoo.
It absolutely was. The columns right there, those are just from wedding cakes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wedding cake columns are your friend.
Yeah, oh
You
yeah.
know, a lot of cake direct decorations you can do a lot with.
You know, in the terrain world, you can buy them. You know, you can buy Roman columns left and right, but nobody does. They just go to the craft store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You go into the cake decorating section, look for the Roman candles. I mean the Roman columns, and I used what 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. It was like $10 maybe. Um, Thanks, Cal. You didn't see that back when we did it? Come on, you had to have seen us do that. With Wylock and Dungeon Master Scotty and all those guys. It was on. They
Yeah,
showed it.
Wylock has some good ideas if you
Oh,
guys want
he's
to
like
stand.
he is probably one of the best
Uh,
crafters I've ever met.
what's the other one? Is it Black
Terrain
Cat
Tutor's a good one.
Magic?
I don't watch Black Magic anymore. I don't. I just
Uh, forget what he was working
he's good.
with.
It's not that he's a bad crafter. I just he and I we could never hang out and be friends, and he's done some things that I didn't like. Um, oh, you can tell it's snow. Yeah, you know what I used? Uh, I'm not sure if it was the stuff from Army Painter or I hand crushed glass. I took like glass, like broken bottles, and I just crushed the hell out of it until I got powder, which is incredibly dangerous and toxic.
Yeah,
If
it's a
not
good way. Don't Yeah, you don't want it in your lungs and eyes and stuff.
exactly, but we've done. The volcano. The funnest part with the volcano, you can ask Jackie, was taking the barbecue lighter and melting styrofoam.
Well, yeah, that's the fun part.
Jackie had so much fun doing that. We did the same thing with this one.
That's cool.
It's all melted styrofoam. You just, carefully. You do got to do it outside with plenty of ventilation, and psh, 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 psh.
Yeah, I've done a lot of builds where I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't safe to do.
That one was Cal. The volcanic island was. Gosh, we're going. We just had our 5th anniversary in August, so it's got to be 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago. We did a lot of our big projects when Jackie was a little guy. You remember when Jackie was wearing the shark head mask? We
Yeah,
had
a
this.
while back.
We
Yeah,
did some videos where Jackie was wearing a big giant shark head, uh, and it was around that era. Um, we did the volcano. I had these Hawaiian shirts. One's black and blue, one's black and red, and instead of like Hawaiian stuff, it's like flames. So we were wearing those shirts. Uh, see,
that's just what the soft. I've got to try to make some of this stuff from scratch in the future. But this was, I happen to have some bone
it's
piles
just a
to.
start. It's just like it's like drugs. The first one's free. You know,
First one's
and it's not
warning.
hard. What the secret ingredient for most washes is?
Soap suds.
Yep, dish soap. What are Black Magic Crafts?
Yeah, Black Magic Craft.
BMCs.
He has some stuff that's
He,
interesting.
he did some great work. I used to watch him all the time, but he's his personal life and his personal things are stuff I'm just like I don't want to hear about it. You guys know where I come from and stuff, but I don't bring it up and stuff like that. And yeah, uh, yeah, you got to do it outside. Uh, the burning of anything, but definitely get the barbecue lighter, because if you try to use like a Bic lighter to burn styrofoam, you'll burn your hand on the little wheel and stuff trying to keep it lit. But if you get the big old barbecue lighter with the long stem, you can get it in the flame into holes and do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. Hey,
Yeah,
let's go.
so the colors that came in this pack, I guess we should go over that real quick. Take a little break
I
here.
forgot I left the lights
The
on.
washing. So there's a sepia tone.
Uh huh.
Like I said, these are nice because they got the ball in there. And hey guys, I picked up because I have a lot of paints. We've been collecting them from different companies and stuff, and then they settled, so they were separating.
Uh huh.
I picked up a cheap one, so it was like under $30
Yeah.
off of
A
Amazon.
mixing station.
Fingernail polish bottle shaker. And
Mine's
it
right
comes
here.
with
Can you hear that?
yeah, and it comes with you got to hold it because it's a cheap one. It's not the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
expensive, not the expensive one. There's an expensive one.
yeah.
Start with the
They
cheap one.
mine's
See if
actually
you
a
like it.
mine's actually like a medical grade one. It's a lab in
Yeah,
VO.
they say it can do lab or whatever. Mine's not the high end, but it can handle a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But it comes with the little ball bearings to put into the ones that you don't have ball bearings in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It came with that. And that was the cheap one for the fingernail polish and also lab tubes and
Uh huh.
whatever. But you have to hold it while it shakes.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
you make it activate.
yeah.
And that thing, love it, love
Oh
it.
yeah.
When I
Oh
when I
yeah.
got when I go to get a color and the paints have separated,
Yeah.
because
It should be a. Even if you just used it yesterday, you should do it again. You know, if you're
right,
using that color again, always hit the paint shaker
yep,
and do it, and it makes such a difference. But with
big difference, guys.
with your neons, if you have neon paint,
Yeah,
craft apple barrel, that's
right,
what
yeah,
this
yeah.
is.
Apple barrel stuff, this kind of junk. Yeah.
Take a bottle of neon orange, right,
Huh.
and put a label on it. Do not use until like 3, 5, 10 years from now.
I've got some really old paint that's actually finally starting to dry out in there.
Well, this one didn't do that, but what happened with it is because it's neon, it's separated. So when I
Oh,
use it, even if I shake it up and I paint with it, it's yellow and orange at the same time. It's kind of like that peanut butter and jelly mix,
so you get a streak, a weird streaking
and
effect
it's
that looks
always
cool.
random. I can't control it, but that's how I get fire effects whenever I use paint fire.
Oh, nice, nice.
And I'm telling you, just put a bottle away. Say, do not open until Christmas of 2030 or something.
But
And
buy them out of date,
I wish I
One penny,
could, but
one
this
penny.
bottle, when we found out about it, it was like 5 years ago,
Right,
and I still got like a third of it left, maybe half.
right. It takes a while to get through these, but these come in handy for so many things.
I'm
Anyway,
telling you,
so
say when you use them up, drop it in it, like get like a sealable container. Like what I use is a big ice cream bucket, like the square ice cream buckets that they come in now. They're about this big,
right.
and then I'll fill it with dish soap or water and either dish soap or LA's Awesome, and just leave it there for a month. Come
Mm.
back and clean it up, and if it's still not clean, throw it back in there. Wait another month, come back, clean it. Get yourself some Q-tips so you can clean out the inside of the dropper bottles, because I
No,
absolutely
I have
hate,
no problem recycling these for sure.
I hate
So we
these.
got we got sepia tone.
I absolutely cannot stand these
I do
bottles.
not like those, but I do like the fact somebody turns theirs into monsters. I saw that on the internet.
That's cool. That's cool. And like I've got a bottle over here that's actually Agrax Earth Shade, which is a Games Workshop wash that's very popular. As soon as I could, I put it in a dropper bottle
Right. Light
because
tone. Let's see what else did they give us. They gave us soft tone, which is the one I'm using because
that's the
that's then
and you got the new formula, so it should be really, really good.
strong tone. I thank you so much for these. These are cool.
My pleasure.
Um,
Strong tone is
dark tone.
strong tone. You're going to use for wood and like wood grain when you want the grain to show up,
Okay.
and for leather
Okay. Yeah, I got a
and
lot of little
dark
leather.
fur.
Try it on. Then we got a dark red tone, so we'll be trying that on all those
It's
red,
all your reds,
all,
just all
all
your
my
reds.
reds.
And if it's too dark in the shades or in the raised areas, dry brush some of the original color red, and you'll be fine.
Military shade looks like it's a green.
It is a green, and you'll use that a lot,
Then we
especially when
got
you don't want to like
Dark blue.
alternate with the green and the military shader so that you don't run out of green. You know what I mean? The green is more of an olive drab kind of color, whereas the
Okay.
green is more of a green, a dark green.
This one is purple tone.
I love that
And
one. It's
then
beautiful.
and then we have a, let's see, what is this? What's this one? Strong skin shade.
Okay, that's for a very dark skin.
So hey, yeah, I got a question. What would you do with the deodants? They're not ready to be, but let me show you. Deodants, they have black skin, so I'm working on them.
Hmm.
Um, so how would we make them pop?
You know what I would do? Because they're black, right?
Yes.
Believe it or not, what I do when something's like black like that, I still hit it with either a blue or a purple wash.
Okay.
Okay. And when the light hits it just right, you'll get that effect like I was talking about with Batman's cloak. It'll look black, but at the same time, you'll see blue.
I was wondering if blue or purple would be the
The
good
only other
go-to.
thing you can do is to, like, do you know how to zenithal highlight yet?
Okay. I might know, but I don't know the terminology. So
Okay.
so
Your
so
primer,
think of me like the person who went to arts, took art classes. I did. I took art
okay.
classes. So there are
It's a,
concepts I understand
from now
and
on,
use.
I would highly recommend doing this with everything, unless it's a bright color, in which case there's another way. You primer your miniature black, right?
I tried primering black. I hated it. So I've been doing gray.
You've
I
been
don't.
doing gray. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Mostly.
here's what I would do, because there's a couple ways you can do it. You paint the miniature black, then you
Mm-hmm.
dry brush the whole thing white very carefully so it's not too thick,
Okay.
and then you paint it just like you would regularly paint it. And what it does is it makes those shadowy areas darker, even when you paint it. Like say like the armpit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything appears white, after you it's black, and then the highlighted areas are white. Well, that
Okay.
armpit is
Gotcha.
going to stay
Okay.
black, and even when you paint it with the red, like let's say, it'll still be darker red
It'll be
here.
darker there. Okay. All right.
Or what you could do is you can go gray, paint it all gray, and then dry brush it with white,
Okay. All right.
so
I'll
that
give that a shot.
the recesses won't be black or really dark, but they will be darker.
Gotcha. I got to touch up this dude. My old gnome.
That cape, a wash of blue, everywhere he's blue, give him a wash, give him a flesh wash.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
actually, when you look at him, you can see that I've done like individual. But yeah, a wash on him would help him out a lot. But I got to go in and touch up his
they absolutely are,
and then seal him
Julia.
up.
And if you don't have one of these, I highly
But
recommend getting one of these.
yeah, I don't have one of those. I know about them, but I don't have one.
Oh,
I'm
it's really
terrible.
handy. Okay, the simplest way to explain it, you're painting something blue, right?
Right.
I'm getting it wrong because I'm
Well, the
backwards. Okay.
opposite. Yeah. I know about the opposite colors. Like
So like
yeah.
that's why Spider-Man is red and blue. Because if you look at Spider-Man blue, what's on the opposite is red with
Right.
contrast. Therefore, they look good together.
Yeah, there. Yep.
Like, let's go over to
Purple and yellow look good.
everybody's favorite. Absolutely, all the other Marvel characters is green and purple. Why?
Green and purple.
Because they're
Yep.
opposite.
Yeah, they're in that zone.
Octopus, uh, Kang, the Hulk. They got like 50 characters that are green and purple, which was another joke in the beginning of the channel. Everything I painted, it was like, and green's my least favorite color. But Jackie's going like, why are you painting everything green and purple?
It's a joke.
It was subconscious. It was just like, I don't know, green, purple, they go together. It's like, you mean like the Hulk and Green Goblin and Kang, and starts naming off all these characters, that are green and purple. I'm like, I guess, and I don't even like green. Uh,
So yeah, these are nice. I like the ball and the.
you see this one? You done this one yet, Cal? You can't even tell what it is. It's so freaking. I think I went a little too crazy on this one. It's some sort of abomination with tentacles and mouths and stuff.
No, you didn't go too crazy. Mm.
It looks better in person, um, and
Well,
I think
paint Minnie's lives would say, "Okay, you're at the ugly stage. Now you have to keep going," and then it comes
yes,
out
yes.
brilliant.
I think I taught him that. To be
Yes,
honest,
yes.
uh, if I paint something black, and I mean black, I use Mosu black, absorbing 94% light, the void in paint form. Okay. Yeah, yeah, you can get a good color wheel. I just happen to have that one because I made an order from Green Stuff World, and they sent that in
Oh,
with a
that's
bunch of other.
nice.
It's just a sticker, but they sent some other free stuff. But the best thing about it was as soon as I got um, the box had this artwork on it. They have their own custom boxes, their shipping boxes, and I immediately like I saw the box. I'm like, where are my markers? I want to color this in. It just had this weird like 1980s sort of coloring book. You remember those velvet posters that you came with the markers?
Right. I got
I
one.
just wanted to
I
freaking
got one
grab
in the
some markers or some
closet somewhere.
crayons and start coloring the box. But they sent me some free stuff, including that sticker, and I just kept it just to try to teach myself. There's another thing I'm working on. It's the giant Lolth like spider miniature.
Oh no, that's nice. Those are nice. Yeah, well, that's just it. I mean, we all know that the original minis for D&D were kids' toys anyway.
Yep.
So just
And
get
there's
out
my
there.
Conan
And you can't always
repairs
find what you want. Like the reason I made Big Mama, the Cyclops,
because you
was
couldn't find one.
you can't buy a female Cyclops.
Well, you
So I
showed
made
them,
it.
didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I did eventually
Yeah,
find one
she
on the
needs some
net,
highlights.
but it was like $60 for an STL print from somebody. So I just,
Thanks, Julia. Yeah,
you know,
this
when,
miniature right here is from 1980. It's a Heritage Conan 54 millimeter scale, and all I did was just it's the Army Painter Crusader skin speed paint. I didn't do anything else. That's it. It turned out like yeah, that all right. That's Conan to me.
now one of the things I'm going to try to make, because I do have, like I said, a box of fantasy monsters that are fairly good size. They're bigger than these guys. They're more like that size. So
Mm-hmm,
they're going to make good ogres or something,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
giants or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I,
we've used a lot of like
um,
action figures over the years. You know, from the swap meet and garage sales and things like that to make giants and things like that. Instead of spending like 20 or 30 or even $50 for a giant. Okay, here, check this out. This one needs
yeah,
repairs.
toys, man.
Okay,
These
you know
are
what
for
this is, right,
giants.
Grandma?
Uh, that isn't that just a regular old you got a skeleton dude there. You made him out of a toy skeleton dude, didn't you?
Yeah, it's just one of the Halloween
Yeah, yeah,
decorations.
yeah, yeah.
And we made a bunch of these, but like the boots turned out really good.
Yeah,
The
he's
armor is
nice.
not
He
so
looks good.
great, but the clothing is more baby wipes.
Yeah, I bought like a whole chain of skeletons on a
Right,
string.
right.
I've
Then
got
you
them
get
in
like
a
six of them for $1.
yeah, yeah. And so I've got them because I want to make like a
And here's
like
his
a
sword. The sword's just a freaking,
you know the the
popsicle
the
stick.
the dead king on the throne, with
Oh, that'd be a
I want to
great one.
I want to
That
I
would be
want
a
to use
great one
one
because like all the skeletons we've made to try to stand up, uh, they don't want to stand up after a while.
where you go into the tomb.
Like
I want to
that's a
create this
great. I'm going
whole
to do that.
thing with
I'm
with
stealing that.
with
That won't be the
with.
first idea I've stolen from you, Grandma. I'm definitely going to do the seated
It's what I
giant
do.
skeleton, like
It's
the
what I do.
giant skeleton of Lincoln.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sitting
yeah,
on the big chair.
yeah,
That'll be
yeah. On the
so
big
easy
chair,
too.
just yeah.
That's great. That's a great idea.
Um, that's I want to do it So I've got to get some more stuff together. But I got the skeletons. They've been sitting in a box.
You mean like this, Cal?
Oh, I like that.
This is probably one of my best paint jobs
Make
ever.
your own demons. Make your
This
own
this is
monsters.
actually an Archon Studios demon.
Yep,
Uh, his wing,
lovely. It's a
lovely.
lovely demon. I've got. I'm paid. I'm working on an Ardoon one, an Ardoon demon. I have.
The Valpyr.
Yeah, the Valpair. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't do such a good
Little,
job on that one. I want to take it and drop it in the goop and strip it. What do you think, Cal?
that came out great.
Uh, That's only one wing, but wait, the best part is the flames. I think I nailed it because that's clear plastic on his back for fire.
Oh yeah,
But I think I nailed it.
I think those came out great.
And the only problem is I tried using blue tack to put the wings in temporarily. You
Oh
know,
no,
poster putty.
you're gonna have to set them right.
It's too heavy.
The wings are too heavy.
Yeah, to hold it up with it's got these two little spots where I can put the poster putty because I want to make the wings so I can take them off and pack it
Oh,
away. You know, because if I put the wings on, he's going to be like this freaking big. You know, with the wings.
right, right. He'll need his own special protective case.
Yeah, he'll need like a freaking like the nuclear football case. Just a little attaché case just for him. And I'm like, well, if I just don't glue him together all the way, because he's also got this crazy whip. Look at this that he
Yeah, the whip's
holds.
awesome.
It's just crazy. It's if I flicked it too hard, it would snap. So or his sword, which I don't think really turned out well. I still need to finish putting the clear plastic on it, but I want to make it so that I could take them off. And I was thinking about magnets, but yeah, it's just. You think so, magnets? Because I've got some little ones. I'm gonna have to order bigger ones because these ones are like
Now you're gonna need magnets that got some power.
these ones are pretty strong, but they're too small. They're like this is like a stack of them, But like two of these little dinky things, they're just not going to do it. I need
Yeah,
like
at some
something
point
the
I'm gonna
size
have
of
to
a
start
like a
playing with
camera
magnets.
battery,
I haven't done it yet.
in actual like size. Thanks, Cal. But and even then, that's going to be difficult to drill out the holes and put the magnets in. But blue stuff, just I tried it yesterday, and it's not strong enough. These wings are they're actually
Well, I
kind of
gotta
heavy.
well, I gotta build my ugly zoo on my bookshelf so I can just have the big monsters up there.
I do have one, two, three, four, five, six, like six shelves over here you can't see, and shelves back there. But that's okay for immediately. But in the future, if I he needs a wheelchair, it's not gonna I've got scores, dozens and dozens and dozens of miniatures that are like this big, and I just can't have like individual cases for each one of them. So what I use is those big boxes for trading cards that hold like thousands of trading cards. Well, they're these cardboard boxes that you assemble, and you can take the dividers out. And I'm going to start using those for the bigger miniatures if they'll fit. But some of them, like this thing, he wouldn't fit in one of those because he's too wide this way. But something like this will fit. But I'm looking at airships and tanks and flying machines and the Tarask and Cthulhu and just all kinds of really big miniatures that just won't fit in your average miniature case. Even the big army transports just won't do it. They just won't do it. not going to tell her I can read lips.
I got a
All right.
dog going off. I'll be right back.
No worries, Grandma. No worries. Close up. Isn't she the coolest, guys? With this one? Yeah, yeah. Because I've got, like, if you guys are familiar with Shadows of Brimstone, they've got big miniatures for the bosses, and there's like on one shelf alone, I've got like 12 right there. Over there's I've got my vehicles and my airships and my airplanes and Kraken and Storm Giant and just all kinds of big minis. And yes, she is. But I'm also, hoping to move to Texas and open up a shop there. And getting all that stuff from here to there would require, very, very careful packing. And as you guys know, uh, you can lose a lot of stuff that way, from traveling, interstate and, from state to state. And I
Push.
want it all to make it there. And, then I can, once the store is open, it's like, okay, fine. That's when the glass cases come out, display shelves and all that. And, okay, you want to use that mini? Okay, no problem. Just sign out for it. And you break it, you bought it.
Well, because we do have different people on here crafting. Um, there's another thing you can.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the
That is
DNA
really
monster.
cool. It's goofy, but it's cool. Are those eyeballs at the end?
Yes, those are eyeballs at the end.
That's freaking great.
This is a monster from. Where is it from? I think it's from the Dungeoneer, if I remember right.
Okay. I love that. That is just
1970s
so
monster.
that's just so ridiculous, but the potential is just, because it doesn't have to physically attack you. It could, psychically attack you or spell
Yeah, you
attack
can.
you.
Yeah, you can do whatever as the person, whatever you want to do with it. Um, it's a certain percentage of them. I forget what it is off the top of my head. Have jewels in the DNA strands.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Okay, so but they're a DNA monster. They are attacking you. They can do all kinds of damage to you.
Yeah.
Um, they link, and these are short write ups. So obviously, as the game master of whatever game you're playing, um, and these were written originally for D
That
and
is
D
so original.
from the '70s, and they attack in packs. So
Scary.
I need to make like 20 more of these.
Okay, that's work.
Yeah, yeah, but
But I mean,
I had
if
to
you
make one because it was
if you're
so weird.
if your players are not ready for that and you put that on the table, they're just gonna think, Grandma, what have you been smoking?
Right. So I came up with and I shared the monster and its original stats. I even I think somebody wanted like the stats for Star Frontiers if it was to be in Star Frontiers.
That would be a
So
good Star
I
Frontier monster.
yeah. So I converted it and I wrote for them and anybody else. I wrote a paper discussing at the time converting monsters to show that every step to explain that my conversion would look different than somebody else's conversion because you have all these choices to make in the process for whatever game you're converting the monster into. So it does you could keep it as close as you want or you could vary it out as far away as you wanted, but the concept and what you can take, what I did, so they could see that there's no right or wrong way to convert a monster. But yeah, these are paper clips,
That's what I
and
figured. That or just wire.
yeah, I had paper clips. That's the wire I had around here, and glue gun. That's all it is. It's me glue gunning paper clip parts together. And I made the spiral part by sticking by flattening out the paper clips and rolling them on a pin. So there's the
What in the
dog.
world was that? What was that?
That's one of the dogs. They hear somebody's coming home. They hear the car.
Yeah,
So he's
Julia, welcome to the family. We have a really, really close knit group of really cool friends and adopted family out here. Uh, Grandma Cal, otherwise known as I was born a poor orc child, Squirrel Hermit. Um, who else was here tonight? Obviously there's George and Off Grid and uh, who else was here tonight? Just you guys? I could have swore someone was here earlier. Uh, yeah, what was his name? He hadn't been here in a while, but Pewey, obviously, he's also new to the group. We just became friends a couple weeks ago. Um, but yeah, we've got a lot of people that hang out on my show and Grandma's show and Squirrel's show, and yeah, we don't you know no judging here. Yeah, we do. We will judge you. If you're a jerk, we'll say so. What do you got there, Grandma? What is your next project? Said your pet rock?
no, but we need to make those. Also from the from the 1970s, I give you the tinfoil monster. This was a published monster,
Okay.
so I gave it little eyeballs. But yeah, it's basically just weighted tinfoil glued to a stand and then made it a mouth. But the point of me making some of these monsters was partially because people on the internet today are so darn serious all the time. And
Right.
they act like nobody was making crazy monsters in the
Ever.
70s or the 80s. And so when they see a crazy monster that's clearly comical,
Yeah.
um, in a modern publishing, and
Yeah. They act
I
like
have my
you're in
problems
seven.
with Watsy too, okay? But or some other somebody else's game, but it's not a new thing.
Yeah. No. We've been doing it since. I mean, look at the freaking Beholder, for Christ's sake. That's the
Yes,
goofiest looking original monster, or the Rust monster, or the Owlbear. Not that one's a little more believable, but the Rust monster. Come on, that is goofy looking. The
right,
Beholder. It looks like it was drawn by a seventh grader. The original Beholder. You
right.
know,
Now
it
see,
probably
my
was.
work my work gave me an emotional support taco, and it has a little saying here. Let's taco about how awesome you are. I know it, you know it. Tiny Taco has your back whenever you need a pick me up. So I was like, what am I going to do with this? And they're cute as heck. So here he is. It's all right. So I turned him into a game device.
Okay.
Okay. So this is you can earn your emotional support taco in a certain game, and if you earned your
It's
emotional support taco, then you can use it. But I posted this, it's like I got to make a monster out of the thing. Everybody at work loved them. They've got them in their pockets. They make some people made keychains.
sure.
They all like their
It's
taco.
cute. It's cute. It's.
Yeah, it's cute, right? Um, there's
I could
apparently a
see it.
whole
I could see it taking off like really
Yeah,
big.
yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah.
apparently a whole line of these little cute foods. There's like fried eggs and there's little pizza slices and all this
Okay.
stuff. All right. I did not
Home and Al
research
would
it.
love that.
Okay, and they all come with little cards and whatnot. Well, I posted this because I was just chuckling, that I managed to turn it in to get it
Mhm.
mounted on something. It took a while to drill out the hole. It's hard plastic. It's not soft, and I had to use a file and just sit there and until I got
Yeah.
for the stick. But so I posted in one crafting group, Well, I started a thing. People went and tracked down not only these but the other foods. They wrote menus. They came up with different ideas of how they wanted to use them. Like one guy, yes, each one of the little foods when you go into this restaurant will do something great for you, but then later it comes back and does something terrible to you as an actual monster.
I think in every case it's called Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah, but the menu he wrote up, it was awesome. If you guys have ever been to a pretentious restaurant
Uh-huh.
and you open it up and it's just a burger. It's just hash browns. It's just a pancake, okay? Yet they're talking about how they've got the tortillas, the corn
Artisan
flour
crafted
comes
this and
from,
that.
you
Oh
know,
God.
you know, the corn of the ancient Inca, imported from Peru. Right. This is just crazy write up. He did that kind of write up for all the food, and and all I could do was laugh because he must that particular game master had to have gone to a pretentious restaurant. I guess.
So
But he
it
made a
was
whole
the
army of these things.
it was the aluminum foil monster, Julia, and Cal. If you have a pet tick from the '70s, you could probably ride that thing to work, right? And then he says pet rock.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I
Yep.
had a pet rock when I was a kid. Man, there were so many cool things. Like when you went to the toy store, there were things called toy stores. Or if you went into the toy section of a store that's not Walmart or Target now, that there's nothing fun there anymore. It's always like, this is an investment now. Single action figure is like $20. It-
Right. They're
they're
making them for
pricing
the
them right
adults,
out
not
of the
for the
kids.
kids.
We could go to the toy store with less than $1 in change, and walk away with a couple of things that would entertain us for days.
Well,
You know,
grown-ups started ruining the toy world a
yeah, the
long
whole
time
Arrested
ago.
Development thing, and you know, yeah. I mean, we could
Well,
get like
remember
slingshots and squirt guns and all kinds of cool simple things that.
disc guns?
Oh God, I love those. Those were
Those
so
were the
cool.
best.
And a good one would shoot really, really far.
Right.
I, I,
Disc
I would
gun
literally
wars, man.
pay good money for a good disc gun right now. Like I
It's
used to
fun
have
though.
this white one that had like a magazine capacity of like 20, and ting 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 ting. There were these little plastic like neon colored, sort of soft plastic, but they could still, if they hit you in the eye, you'd be feeling it the next day. You wouldn't be blind, but you'd be bummed. You know, um, I love those. Like the stuff you could get when you went to like the liquor store and it'd be hanging on the rack. It was the equivalent of Chinese knockoff garbage, but at least back then it was like, uh, spell Chuck hates you. We'll tell Chuck to, you know, go chuck himself. Um, I remember
Yeah.
I had this like Dirty Harry like 44 Magnum toy pistol that had these weird plastic bullets that you know what a bullet shape is. Well, you put them in the gun backwards, but it would still shoot them. But it was a 6 shooter, and it had 6 bullets, and you put each one in the cylinder, and it had the full action and everything. I got it from the liquor store for like $1.35 or something. It was so good in its ability to do what it's supposed to do, shoot these little plastic bullets across the room. The cylinder would rotate the whole bit. Man, I never saw
Yeah.
another one of those again.
Those toys were fun back then, and now, yeah.
Well, now,
Not,
now there's nothing that's less than 10, $15. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like everything is the same price or more now.
well, there's
There
that.
are no, there are they don't make those lower end cheap kind of things. You know what I mean?
Right. And if it shoots something today, you can't necessarily get the replacement things as easy because you're going to lose the little bullets, uh, that fit it. I don't know, man. They're just
Absolutely
not
right,
as
Julia.
good. And the adults, like I said, they've ruined the game, the toy
Yeah.
industry because remember when Cabbage Patch dolls? Remember that? Remember that?
or
That was like the
Beanie
beginning of
Babies.
the end.
Yeah, I was going to say that, or Beanie Babies
Well, I
when
think Cabbage Patch doll
we're
things
first.
happened first. Then we had Beanie Babies and Furby and Elmo craze,
Yeah.
and all that. But Beanie Babies were uniquely weird and creepy in that you had people making nurseries,
Hmm.
and you're like, why? I mean, I get collecting dolls. I mean, it's not really my thing, but I get it. You know, and but why would you make a full on nursery for one single Cabbage Patch? I mean, doll. That's
That
weird.
was, I think, that was like the beginning of the dual income, no kids kind of thing. That
Yeah,
sort of
weird.
mentality. Because I know a lot of people in the hobby that that married couples or whatever. No worries, Julia. But they have no intention of ever having kids. You know, uh, for whatever reason, and I'm just like, you know,
They're missing out.
yeah, because you get to do everything twice or three times or four times. You get to go through it with
Well,
them and enjoy all the things. Not vicariously, obviously. But after the first 2 years,
it
which are really
allows
tough.
also for your personal growth.
Yeah,
Which people miss.
yeah.
And then you're dealing with 50, 60-year-old adults who are still acting like they're freaking
Hmm.
idiotic 20-year-olds.
Or younger teenagers.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
they never grew up.
do you think it's a like a cultural thing, or like not to be all conspiracy guy or whatever, even though that is my middle name. Something in the water.
I think it's cultural.
You know,
Um, I think a lot of people have been,
spoiled rotten.
well, there was that, but I also think there's a lot of people who uh, they've bought into various excuses about why they shouldn't have a family.
Hmm.
Um, and, they're very, the truth is, they're just very caught up on themselves. And they've devalued the family structure. It's not important. Having kids isn't important. We need less children, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
And
that's.
it's very short sighted. But when I went to
Well,
college,
I'd use the word selfish.
there's that. But when I went to college, I ran into the zero population people.
Hmm.
That's a real thing.
Yeah,
The net zero population people, and that was forever ago. So they've
yeah.
been working on brainwashing people for a long time. Oh, your children will never make it. It's worse today than it ever was for everybody else. I've been listening to that recycled baloney for years now, and yet
Hmm.
people are making it. Um,
Yeah. I'm
it's
14 for
not
gaming
true.
purposes. You know what I mean, Cal. Um, yeah, it's fear sells. I was talking about this the other day. Back in the day when we watched the news, the 5 o'clock news or the 11 o'clock news, there was always one feel good story of the day. Sure,
Now
it
there's
was
none.
90% bad news, but then there'd be like one feel good story and maybe one story to help you out. You know, yeah, I think it is kind of both, and both have been, like you said, capitalized squirrel. But they don't. We never get good news anymore.
No, we don't.
Unless it's at somebody else's expense. Like good news, something bad happened to so and so that you don't like. You know,
Right. It's
and I
all it's
hate
all
that. Even
very
from what I consider like my side of the aisle, or the side I hate the least. You know, people are making recycled bologna.
yeah. Yeah,
I don't
recycled
think
bologna.
that's feasible. And if it
Well,
is, I don't want any.
when we were
Welcome to the
when
show,
we were
Grumpy.
kids, let's see, the climate change that was going to kill us all and destroy us all
What
was the
was it?
ice
The
age.
ozone, the hole in the ozone
Oh no, it was
layer.
the ice age
Oh
before we
yeah,
got the
yeah.
ozone. Then we got the ozone hole and greenhouse gases. But but my point being is, they've always come up with a million. Show me a time period when it was a good idea to have kids.
When it
I
was a
mean,
good,
yeah, when the world wasn't messed up. Show me in history, and you're gonna have a
I
hard
would
time.
want to. I think I would say right after WW2 in the 40s and 50s.
But in the 50s we still had war. In the
We had the
60s we
what?
had war. So the people who go, well, the war around the world, it's like
Yeah.
that's never stopped. I'm pretty sure once there was two groups of cavemen were having war. Okay,
Mhm.
it's just are they're
Well,
always going to have
I
that.
wasn't there in the 50s, but from what I understand and from what I've seen, it seemed like there was a still a bunch of positivity in the air. You know what I
Yes.
mean about everything. And then the 60s kind of crapped on all of that.
Well, you got all the people who it'll never work,
Sure. Weren't you playing
and
that character the other week?
you've got a group of people who really want to change American culture, and it's not necessarily for the best. I mean, like I said, I ran into them all in college. I mean, besides
Yep.
the zero population people, which by the way, we should all be dead by now because there's too many people on the planet. But we're not.
I,
Um,
I haven't. I know better. But yeah,
yeah. The you've got the
kind of
people who
baloney
want
hunters.
us to be. They want to get rid of the Constitution. They want to get rid of the Bill of Rights for real. They want to write a whole new thing because it's going to be better. But the
And it
government's
never
going to be
is.
in charge. It's never going to be better. And on top of that, communism. They want communism. They
And how
flat
is
up
that
want
good for
communism.
anybody? Except the
Like
one
it's
guy
never
at the top.
worked. I know people from ex-communist countries. They all have horror stories. You don't want communism.
No.
They were crying in some of our previous elections at work when certain people got elected because they're like, this is communism if what these people want. So,
Yeah.
so everyone's always like, oh no, that was done wrong the last 1,000 times, and this time it's going to be done right.
Yeah.
No.
No thanks. I'm not giving up my stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
I've had these conversations with more modern college kids. I've been told I'm antisocial. I need to go to re-education camp.
That's insane.
Yes, yes. I'm the problem because I don't think
I'm sorry, Grandma. That's just that's
I don't want to give my house to them, and that and I and
all you have to all we have to do to fix that, is just start making it easier so people like that can own their own home and watch them turn into uh, something else.
well, they're all capitalists, even though
Yeah.
even though they're
Welcome to the
communists.
show, Janet. I saw. How did it go with your building bender? Uh, it was you need to check your mic and maybe lower the camera a little so we can see what you're working on better. But that looked like fun. I haven't played with Legos with my boy in about 6 years, and I miss it every once in a while. He had so much fun when he was growing up, playing with Legos
Legos
every day
best.
before and after school. And I mean after school, I mean from like 4 o'clock till bedtime. That's all we did, him and I. He'd play with Legos. I'd do dishes. He'd play with Legos. I'd help him, pick up his Legos. But it was still, you finished that giant thing? Wow, nice. He's still got Lego sets that are unopened from his like 11th or 12th birthday. It's just like, I got him, the stuff he asked for. But by that minute, he hit that, biological click on his biological clock. It's like, oh, done with toys. I'm going to just be on my phone or my tablet or the computer or I will not comply.
Yeah, no, I'm not complying. No.
No, you spelled it Kapla like Klingon.
Oh, Kapla. Yeah,
Oh, you
well,
just turned off your mic? Okay. Because it was like hard to hear you for a while. Uh, as in it sounded funny, like there was some sort of distortion. But yeah, you're lucky, Janet. I can't get away with that. I got too many other toys. If I started, buying Legos, the boy would just have me committed. It's like, yeah, he thinks he's 12 again. I'm like, no, I know how old
we're
I
allowed to
am.
relive our childhoods.
Oh, I've been doing that for 25 years. I just did some smart things to be able to afford it, and got lucky, really, 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 really lucky. Um, and
I tried this painting style from World of Warcraft. I was watching a video where you put the white there,
uh,
see how that would look. I don't know.
oh, another trick I want to impart to you is ivory, the color ivory.
Yeah, not using a bright white, but using a
Using
different.
ivory like as a really, really, really light dry brush on almost anything. You'll have to
Okay.
experiment with it because it just hits those highlights and just makes it look. It doesn't. I can't say it doesn't matter what it is, but there's so many things that I use that, and I learned that trick from James L, a good friend in Australia.
I'll
Uh,
try ivory, see how that looks.
just on just try it here and there. You know, it could work as a weathering effect or a highlight where light is just hitting things a little and brightening. Instead of it being blue, it's got a little you know lighter shade to the edges and things like that. I use it all over the place now.
Yeah,
Unless
well,
unless it's too light, there's some things that won't work, but you'll find out that ivory instead of just good old fashioned white is a very good idea.
one of the things when I was in college, because most of the professors, instructors, those folks were very inclined to certain ideologies. I had one who wanted us to have $6 a gallon gas back then, and his logic was that we would all get taxed the same, and that would be good because the government needed more tax money for more social programs. Now, keep in mind, he got dude's making more money than probably his whole class combined.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, it's funny that people with that kind of fu money, you know, can get on board with those insane things that will
well,
never
part of it
affect
was
them.
fairness. It needs to be fair. Poor people will be paying the same amount as the rich people.
They already are.
I know. And I was like, no, you're just going to make it impossible for poor people to drive a car. And he's like, well, they can take a bus. They won't be able to take the bus. He's like, yes, they will. Bus fares is cheap. I said, it won't be once the guy driving the bus needs a bigger paycheck to get to work. And the bus people, even though they're
Thanks, Grumpy.
government, needs to
Smart
pay the
ass.
gas bill that now costs $6 a gallon
Yeah.
because they don't get a tax break. The government still pays the same taxes.
Yep.
You know,
Mhm.
so everything goes up. Like I was trying to explain economics to a science professor.
Yeah,
You know,
he's with tenure, who's never going to get fired.
yeah, no, but
Because
yeah,
and that's because you know the reason. They want everybody else to do it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And I said, if you think that we need to pay you, that you personally aren't paying enough in taxes, I said, on your tax form, there's a little box you can check that says I want to give the government extra money, and then you write in the amount, and you can donate to them extra money. There's actually a
and
box.
they will take your money and laugh all the way to their
You know,
own
I said, why aren't
private
you
bank
doing that
accounts.
if you don't think that you personally are paying enough in taxes?
Nobody would ever do that, and they never will do that.
I know. But
I
my
mean,
point was why are you trying to increase the taxes of
Yeah,
everybody?
get your hand out of my wallet.
You know. By all means, donate.
I had to do the same thing, Omen, for many, many, many years because I never had a driver's license. So I've used every kind of public transportation. And, if you're, if you have to do that 2 hours up and 2 hours back, that's 4 hours of your 8 hours that you're normally, allotted in life to either sleep or to do everything but work.
Right. And your day is
And you're
wasted.
not getting paid for it.
Oh, and there's certain things that are a pain to do if you have to use the bus service. Just because. Like, say, grocery shopping for a family of four.
Yeah, have you ever tried that?
Try getting all those groceries on that bus. Yeah. Yeah,
Ain't gonna
that's
happen.
fun. It ain't
Yeah,
happening.
you
Right.
literally have to take everybody and backpacks, and everybody's got to carry like 4 bags,
Right.
and then
Right.
everybody looks at you crazy, and you end up having to take extra seats, which might not be there.
It is better to have a little red rider. Yeah, I've been there. To a car.
Yeah,
Walk to the grocery store with your little red rider wagon and haul the groceries back in that. Then try to deal with the bus. Everybody I know who was younger years ago, who were so proud of the fact they didn't drive. I don't drive. I walk everywhere. I bicycle everywhere, and I use public transit. And I'm not saying walking's bad. It's good.
no, that's great
Bicycling's great. Do it.
if you
Using
live in
public
an area
transit,
where you can,
if that works for
make
your
it work.
lifestyle and getting around, do it. It has its place. Okay, I'm not against that, especially considering the industry I'm in. But um, it has its limitations.
Yeah,
It 100% has its limitations, and yeah, it's awesome in certain areas, but in other
mhm.
areas like my area, it only
Right. But
comes so
if it
ways.
takes you that many extra hours to and from work,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
No
Uh,
one's, let's put it this way, public transit doesn't run when I go to work.
there's that too.
Okay. Um,
Here buses are still running at like 10 o'clock. But that's like the last line. And if you're, spending 2 or 4 hours every day in addition to your hours of work, that means you're actually getting paid less per hour of work because
right.
you have to kind of factor in those extra two, four
Yeah,
hours.
and people who haven't used public transit don't understand. At least in like areas like mine, don't understand. So you get dropped. So let's say you need to get onto 3 different buses to get home from
Right.
work. I was figuring out how to do this one day because I hadn't used it in a while, and I was like, okay, my truck's broken down. I might need to use public transit to get home. I would have to take one bus so far, then I get dropped off. Then I have to like run, not a block, not 2 blocks, but like half a mile to the next stop that I need to get to catch the next bus, to get to the next leg. Wait. And then it was a similar thing. I'd have to totally like go this long distance and hopefully get to the next stop in time to catch the next bus to get close to my house,
Hmm.
and then hoof the rest away. And he had to do all this before the buses stop running,
Hmm.
before they all go home
Hmm.
in my area.
Yeah, and God forbid, you miss one of those buses
You're
because,
walking.
yeah,
You're
or
walking the
or
whole
you're
way.
or you're waiting an additional hour or 30 minutes or whatever
Right.
it is between the next. Yeah, it's kind of a
It is not
science.
like my area is not like the Bay Area where everything's interconnected and it
Yeah,
runs nice. Apparently, no, 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 no. It is not like Southern Cal when I lived in Southern Cal where everything actually went places. Like you could get to the hospital. You could get to the hospital on public transit. You could get to the mall. You could get to a grocery store. You could get to a doctor's office. If things went places, you could do it. I used it. Not here It's like hit and miss, man. And there's like lots of bus stops, but they're not lines that are running.
Yeah, if you like,
Yeah,
if you find yourself at one of the discontinued bus stops without knowing it, I've
yeah.
I've done that.
You're
I've
gonna be there
literally done that.
forever.
They don't stop there anymore, and
The bus, and if you do see a bus, it just keeps on hauling. It's going somewhere. It's not going to stop for you. Yeah, and and because we have such a big problem in this area with the homeless and the drug addicts, they get on the bus and they do things like piss and poo in their seat or do something sexual, and you have to tolerate it, and it's terrible. So no, I don't like to use public transit. The last time I used it was the trolley train that takes you from the county to downtown. And we had one of these guys in our car where everybody who's normal is completely uncomfortable because the guy's being weird and doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. And if he just got on the bus and sat there and chilled, it would have been fine. But that's not what they do,
no.
and
I
that's
used to
the
take
problem.
the subway a lot, and I'd always say, no matter what time of day it is, what line you're on, there's always a show.
Right. So
Something
like the
weird's
little
going
the
on.
little really extreme
What's up,
stuff
nerdy?
we see on the news where somebody actually gets horrifically killed or something, that's 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 just
Hmm.
the worst of the worst coming out of New York. But we got weird stuff going on out here, you know. So yeah, and like I said, I'm not against public transit. I just want safe public transit. I want public
Hmm.
transit that goes places that people can actually use, besides just the guy who lives in the suburbs going downtown to work at the government building. Oh, I need to read something. Let's see. Open package. Add pasta to 3 quarts of boiling water. Reduce heat and boil gently for 3 minutes or longer for softer bite. Stir frequently. Drain water and serve with sauce. I was asked to read the instructions.
Okay.
What's being made.
Okay.
Um, the
Yeah, or someone gets stabbed or worse.
You're right. You don't want that, and you
No.
don't want the regular passengers to be put in a position where they feel they have to defend themselves or one of the other passengers from the crazy guy, and then something happens to the crazy guy, and then they're the monsters. Um, so
Well,
it's
don't you know that any decent citizen knows better than to defend themselves?
yeah. We are in that state. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
No.
just
No.
supposed to let them stab you to death or light you on fire or
Or
do
whatever they
whatever.
want. At
Yeah,
what
do
point
whatever
do
they
we not
want.
all become that guy then?
Waiting for urban and bus, and they did in Chicago. Right. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like they know to come to the bus station to harass people, and and I let's just say I do something with public transport, and so I'm not
Don't live
against it.
there.
I just want it safe.
Is that too
Okay, I
much to
want it
ask? Is that
safe.
really? I mean, is that really? Are we gotten to the point where that's too much to ask? I mean,
You know,
what did they say here in California? Don't come, don't come to California because we can't protect you.
no,
The
no,
sheriff
and
said that.
they've taken all the. You guys got to understand, like when you watch like the news and the bus drivers being beat up by the passenger or something, and people are like, why doesn't the bus driver defend themselves, or why isn't anybody helping? Everybody is disarmed.
Amen, squirrel. Amen.
You know, you can't even. I don't think you can even legally have pepper spray or mace now on a bus. Compliments to the Department of Transportation. I mean, just let that sink in. The most common things that are non-lethal that people use, and they've made a rule,
Because they don't want you to do that.
right?
They
You know,
because they want you to be ready to submit when it's them doing it.
but the thing is, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. And the problem isn't the average person. It's these one-off people who are like, get on buses they shouldn't be on, get on the
I know, Cal. I know.
pushing people off the onto the road. Those people need to be rounded up, yes. And we need to figure out what's wrong with them. If they just need to do prison time, then they need to do prison time. If they are like hallucinating, then we need to figure out why and get that fixed. But
Buy 8 brass rings.
yeah, by 8 brass
Nice,
rings.
dirty.
8 brass rings, yes. It's my jewelry. Yes. Um, but yeah, it's a problem, and I don't see it getting better because I can see, like, I go down roads. I've lived in this area most of my life. I lived in Southern California for a little bit. I had a little short stint outside of the country, and I can tell you right now that my hometown is not right. I go down streets that it's just person sleeping in the ditch with their legs in the roadway every block.
Yeah.
Now I have the grocery store down the street has, for the area I'm in, which is a fairly nice area. It's not a bad area. Has to have a security guard. They have to have a security guard.
Hmm. And even
That's
then, the
not
security
normal.
guard, even then, the security guard can't keep people from taking stuff. Just,
No, no.
just stop you from getting murdered.
Right.
I mean,
It's
what does
not
that
normal.
say? In the old days, that security guard would be there to catch shoplifters, not murderers.
Right. And it's like that all over town. It's to some extent. Now there's a
Hmm.
few pockets where they don't seem to have been touched yet, but they will be because I've been watching the problem expand out. Um, yeah, they just
We know,
you
nerdy.
have
We
great
know.
Friday sleeping in the middle of the road. Yeah, I mean, and but like I said, when it comes to the walking, the biking, the using public transit, which I'm
I
cool
don't
with.
know what that word is, Omen. Great
Um, Pyrenees,
Pyrenees.
The Pyrenees Mountains. They're between
Oh,
France and Spain in Europe.
oh,
That's
okay.
where the Great Pyrenees dog comes from. They're huge. They're big,
I've
white,
never
furry,
seen that
massive.
word before in my life. I thought it was a typo.
Nope. Um, but all the young people who were so proud that they didn't own a car and they didn't walk, that I knew years ago, when they got married and eventually had a child, guess what they all ended up getting?
Oh yeah,
A car. And
I was
I
gonna
would
say a
drive
gun, but
these
okay.
people around in my car, and they would be so smug. And I remember, like, the last time I drove this couple, I was driving them to San Francisco because we're going to San Francisco, and and they were back there just talking smack about owning cars, and I about halfway there, I just wanted to pull the car over and say, "Get out and walk the rest of the way," and drive away because I'm trying to give you a ride. You guys aren't even giving me gas money, and all you're doing
Oh my
is
God, squirrel! That nailed it on that right there. Nailed it on the head. Sigh. I miss the times when water was free and you had to pay for porn.
yeah, yeah, and but as soon as they all had a kid, they found out what I kept telling them because I already had kids.
Hmm.
You can't go to the grocery store for a family and do your shopping for yourself or for two people. Not a problem. But once you need those diapers, all that formula,
Hmm.
all that other junk,
Hmm.
you need a car.
And yeah, and you know, most people don't realize, uh, the average, grocery trip is like an hour up and back. And if you got to do that every freaking day, versus doing it like I do it once every 2 weeks,
Right.
you know. And yeah, it takes 2 hours, but I don't have to go for 2 weeks.
Right.
You know,
But it's
um,
way different when you're single. What you need. But when you have a whole household of people, that change, a dog, and you always end up with a pet, and it just happens, guys. Okay,
mhm.
and and you can't you cannot do that on the local bus system. It's just not.
Hmm.
It's not user, at least not in my area. It's not because everything's so spread out. It's not user friendly at all. Even if you're downtown, it's not user friendly.
No matter how you do it, one person can only carry so much.
That's it.
And some things aren't meant to be, like a gallon. If you need a gallon of milk and 12 other things, it's not happening. You
Right.
know what I mean? Try carrying a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread in the same hand.
Well, you need all the
One's
stuff
going to
for
make
the
it home
adults.
in shape, and the other one is going to look like anything but a loaf of bread.
Right. And you got the kid or the kids plus everything that you need to get for them. And it takes you, like, let's say it takes you an hour to get to the grocery store, do your shopping, and then another hour to get back. You're getting a car as soon as you can. You know? Yeah,
Where my son
Munich
is, it is 10 miles away from the nearest city of 3,500.
Yeah, you're getting a car. So that's why some of the stuff that all these young people are like, oh yeah, it'll be great, it'll be fabulous, blah blah blah. They're it's like, you don't know yet, do you?
You
Because you're
leave
still
those
limited
children
on.
alone at night and they'll reproduce.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. That's another unfortunate thing.
No, they'll have kids. But the point being is, it's a matter of perception, and they don't listen. It's like, I was at another thing, and people were talking about how anybody who owned, this was years ago, anyone who owned an SUV was worse than Hitler. They were worse than a mass murderer, in fact. And I'm sitting
Do
there, and
they
I have an
understand how
SUV.
retarded that sounds?
Oh yeah, I have an SUV. And at this particular little conference, um, that I was at, I was well aware of what people were showing up, what kind of cars they were driving in, right? My SUV polluted less than the average car that these people were driving into the parking lot. So I knew it's an age issue, and the pollution standards and all that. Mine polluted, was more fuel efficient and polluted less. And I needed it because I had kids, dogs, goats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the soccer mom, right? So I need the extra space. I need to be able to pop stuff down, throw bales of hay in there for real, you know, um, and also transport people's junk to this thing, because I transported people's stuff, and move people around besides just my kids. So we're at this little conference, and there's all these people talking, and they were all so smug. They're always so smug. And I go, excuse me, but I know what cars you all drove in because I saw you, and your cars all pollute more than mine. They're less fuel efficient than mine. They're
Mm-hmm.
using more resources than I am. My SUV out there is the better vehicle, is the more green vehicle. Nothing. And that was before electric cars and all that. And they're like, yes, but, and they're trying to make excuses. I'm like, no buts. I said, and they're like, but you don't need something like that. I said, who are you to tell me what I need?
Right.
Who are you? For one thing, I hauled up half of your guys' stuff so you could put on your presentations. You needed me to do that. So apparently you need an SUV too. And then I went through all the stuff I had: the kids, the soccer games, the dogs, the goats, the livestock, the 4-H. I said, exactly who are you to tell me what I need? I know what I need. Stop telling
Even
me
if
what
even if
else.
you didn't have any of that.
Right.
Nobody has the right to tell you anything like that here.
Right.
You know,
I
you
know.
want you if you want to you know, drive a friggin' monster truck around town, that's well within your rights whether you need it or not. This
Right.
isn't a need-based society.
Well, and the people telling us what we need all own jumbo jets and fly them all over
Right. If
the
that was the
world and
case,
yachts.
nobody would ever need a limousine, but yep, there they are.
Yeah, come out and talk about how everybody else needs to be austere and all this, and they've got like four mansions. Seriously. No, I'm not going to take advice from people who are clearly capitalists pretending to be not capitalists. Yeah, just not doing it. Okay, I've got to go, guys.
Yep. Perfect time. 8 o'clock.
Probably take poor Shadows.
No. I wanted to hang out with you, and talk paint and stuff, and we always get to talking about other stuff on this show, and everybody who's here is always welcome to talk about anything. Omenal and Julia are talking about Germany, and
well, they need to get a separate license to drive an SUV in Germany. Well, those better be really good SUVs, not lame ones. I mean, I'm talking the ones can go through the tundra and stuff.
Right. And next week, you, me, and Omenal will talk about. Finally, we'll finish talking about Hero's Journey by Sterling Lanier. I enjoyed
and
the
you
book.
can ask me that question.
Yes, because it was weird, and I need a female's perspective to make it make sense.
And
but
we will go in depth, and we will look at it from my perspective and from some anthropological considerations.
Okay, I
might have been in the book.
I can dig it. So we'll see you guys. I'll see most of you guys tomorrow morning. I'm going to give you 2 more Conan story reviews if I can, because that'll finish off that book, and then we'll go into the weekend. But everybody else out there, have a great weekend. Nice seeing all of you guys again. Grandma, thanks again. Use those washes. I want to see some pictures on Discord or Facebook or
I
wherever.
can tell you right now, my undead army already looks 100 times better.
Everybody else will be like, wow, because they call it liquid talent, or liquid whatever. I think it's something miracle, but it's one of the techniques and the tricks that will make everybody think you're like a professional painter. Don't ever tell anybody what you do. Just say thank you. It's nothing. I just keep practicing. I get better. It's not the miracle freaking drops that do the magic for you, because you still have to learn how to do it right and make
you
it.
Still have to do layers, guys. This is true.
But the day I got my first set of washes and used them.
Now, these are nice. These are way better than what I have been using.
I literally think they're the best.
The black wash
in on the market. Games Workshop, Reaper. Maybe there's some other company that does it better. I don't know about them, but I hope you enjoy it.
Trying the dark red next.
Red's fun. That's a good one. It's probably red and purple are probably my favorites, because especially with purple and red, because you can even use it as like blood effects if you want to make things look
Oh yeah.
bloody and stuff.
I got some gore piles to paint and hit them.
Okay. All right, Grandma. Everybody else out there, love you guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys real soon.
Night, everybody.
Happy trails, everybody.